Hi all. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you are new, welcome. My name is Amira and my channel is all about trying new makeup, talking about new makeup, but also finding new and exciting ways to be inspired by the makeup you already own. If that sounds good to you, I hope you will consider subscribing, and if you enjoyed today's video, that you hit the like button. So today, guys, I'm starting a series that's kind of been on my mind for a while but I didn't really have the time to start. And I thought, you know what, today's the day. Let's just sit down. Let's get it started. I am starting a new series with my Pat McGrath Mothership palettes. And I've talked about, I've talked at length about my love of Pat McGrath, my love of her eyeshadow formula. And I've talked at length about choosing a Pat McGrath palette, or how to choose a Pat McGrath palette that's right for you. And I talked about how her palettes can seem quite intimidating for some people. Her color stories can seem quite intimidating, and how you can sort of ease yourself into using them and finding ways to use them every day, as well as for special, special looks and special occasions. And so I figured the best way to show you guys that that's possible is to demonstrate it on my eyeballs. So today what we're doing, we're going to start with the first Mothership in the collection, which is Mothership 1 Subliminal. And it looks like this. And this happens to be my favorite Mothership. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one eye as an everyday eye look, and I'm going to do the other eye as a more dramatic special occasion night look. Let's get into it. All right, so my eyes are primed. My face makeup is done. I am wearing, list everything that I'm wearing down below, but a lot of it is Pat McGrath. I'm wearing Pat McGrath blush, highlighter. Yeah, and I'm going to be using the mascara, the whole shebang. So let's get into it. Open this bad boy up, and I'm going to do the daytime look on this eye, I think, and the nighttime look on this one. I just think it'd be easier. I tend to do better. Does anyone else have this at like their good eye where I feel like I can do better dramatic looks on this eye than I can on this eye? I don't know what that's about, but yeah, I'm gonna make things easier on myself, and I'm I'm gonna do the dramatic look on that one. So let me grab a brush. I'm grabbing my Rephr 14. Zoom you guys in just a bit more. And I'm gonna show you the palette one more time. And I'm really gonna be working with these shades and one of the shimmers, just to show you this is a really easy, simple, everyday look, which is the point. Like, I want to show you guys that this doesn't have to be a palette that you sit down and it takes you 20 minutes to do an eye look. You can do a quick look with these palettes. I find them quite easy to work with as far as that goes. And I still have the plastic on here. I'm so bad. I never took the plastic off my mirrors, and now I want to use it, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I am going in with, let me pull out my shade card, Ultimate Taupe, which is this really cool toned taupey shade that I like to put in my crease. So I'm gonna, oops. And for a look, if I'm doing something every day, I don't necessarily feel the need to do like a smoky or deeper outer corner. Like, sometimes I just want something that gives my eye a little bit of definition and a little bit of sparkle. And I'm gonna show you guys how I do that. I'm gonna use a little bit, just a little bit of depth, but not a ton. Because again, I don't want this to be I'm not trying to do the dramatic thing. I'm trying to do this sort of easy, simple thing. All right, so that is the taupe shade all in my, I love this shade. It's like a perfect, like, cool tone. I love taupes anyway, but this is just like the perfect, like, cool tone taupe. Now that that's done, I'm going to take a Rephr 13, and this one's dirty, but, well, it's mostly stained more than dirty. And we're going to go in with a tap, tap, tap depth, because this is very pigmented. And like I said, I don't want my eye to be super dark. I just want a little bit of definition on the outer corner. So I'm going very lightly, as you can see, with this shade on the outer corner. I'm going to stop now, because as you can see, it's getting quite deep, and I'm going to go back in with the brush I used with the taupe shade. And go back in. And that's literally all I'm doing. I just wanted a little bit of depth. I am now going to go in with the shade, I think this is called Substance. And it's this beautiful kind of like taupey, soft metallic. And I'm going to apply that all over the lid here. And I'm using my finger so it's not too intense because I'm not going for intense. Sorry if you guys can hear beeping. My window is closed, but it's like a crazy loud day. It's been storming all day. My internet went out for a while, which kind of gave me a slight panic attack because, you know, I have to upload videos. So it's like, how am I gonna do that with no internet? But that's back on. But then on top of that, we've had this like work truck sitting right outside. That's kind of been just getting on my nerves. Okay, so this is Substance on the eye. I'm now gonna do the lower lash line, and I'm gonna take this Sonia G Pencil Pro, and I'm gonna go back in with Ultimate Taupe on the lower lash line. Just like that. I'm keeping it super soft. I'm gonna tiny dip into depth just to marry the outer corners on the top and bottom, just so that they match each other. So like that. And then I think for this, I'm going to take Skin Show Nude, just dip in that. I'm doing it dry so it's not too intense. Take my brush off because it's quite a bit of product. And I'm just gonna tap that into my inner corner. And that's an everyday look. This is how I would use this palette if I was just, and I've done this before, just throwing on a simple eye look, but I wanted to use my Pat McGrath. I'm not going to finish the eyes off. I'm going to do that at the end. But as you can see here, all I would do is put on some mascara, maybe a little bit of liner in my waterline if I wanted it to be a little bit richer. But generally speaking, if I'm going for a softer everyday look, I would just throw some mascara on and that's it. Let's get into the second eye look. We're going to go in with the same base shade of Ultimate Taupe. So it's going to start off looking quite similar, but you'll see where I'm going with this NMO. I'm now going back into depth. Only this time, I am not worried about it being too deep. I'm actually taking it and I'm going to start pulling it out a bit to create some shape, a bit of that V shape. And this sort of shape I like for my eyes because I have hooded eyes, and so for me I feel like it kind of just lifts everything, and so everything doesn't feel like closed down here. It kind of just brings the eye up. All right, now that that is done, I'm going to take a smaller brush, take this Kyoto brush, and I'm dipping into Extreme Black. This is a black. Proceed with caution. This is how much I'm using. That's how much of the black I'm using. And I'm taking this right here, just like the very base of the outer corner of my eye. Dip a little bit more. With black, it's better to not have enough on the brush and have to go back in than to have too much on your brush, because black can be quite intimidating. And I'm going to dip back into depth. But it can also get out of control really easily, and you don't want that. So now I'm taking depth and I'm bringing it a little further in to deepen that. I'm tapping back into Taupe, Ultimate Taupe, like so. And now let's get into what we came here for. At least this is what I come here for. When I open this palette and I know I'm about to do a fab look, like a bold look, this is what I go for. So I am taking a number 21 Rephr. I'm dipping into Blitz Blue. Yes, the blue people. Did you think I was really not going to use this blue today? Please. All right. And I'm doing sort of my standard faux cut crease. This is how I do. I don't do a lot of like traditional cut creases, but I love a good faux cut crease. I'm now going to take that a little bit higher. So like this is my natural crease because I have hooded eyes. So when I do this, I like to bring it just a tad bit higher, if you can see there, so that you can really see the shadow. And I do this a bit slowly. I don't go in super like fast because I want it to be as neat as I possibly can get it and as precise as I can get it. Okay, now I'm taking this Crayola brush again. I'm dipping right back into the black, tap it off, and then I'm just going to do this to blend that lower half with the blue. A little bit here too. And then I'm going to take this brush again and we're going back into depth and blend that there so that they kind of come together quite nicely. Now, what I usually like to do is use one of these two shades. This is, I believe, called VB. I don't have my glasses on, so VR Violet and Astro White. Yes, so Astro White has this like bluey tint, bluey gold tint. And then this one has the pink. I prefer the pink. I just think it adds a little something extra. So that's what I'm going to go with today. And I'm going to take the flip side of the brush that I used for Blitz Blue. It's still a little damp, which is perfect. And I'm tapping that all over the blue shade. Do you see what that does for it? You kind of lose the violet, but it just bumps up the blue so beautifully. Love it. All right, let's do the lower lash line. I'm going to take the same brush that I used before. I'm going to go back into some taupe. I'm going to kind of mirror what I did on that side, but make it more intense. Then I'm going to take depth. And I do have a bit of fallout with that shade, even though I wet my brush. There's a little bit there. I will say, if you are doing this at home and you're wearing these special shades, do your eyes first. I did my face first because I didn't want this video to be too long and I wanted it to focus on the shadows and not like all the other stuff. Okay, now I'm gonna take, here we go. So I have this Sonia G flat definer and I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this beautiful lilac dust shade. Let me wet my brush. There we go. And this is just so pretty. It's like this really soft lilac tone. I love it. I'm putting that all the way around like so. And then for the pièce de résistance, I'm going to take Pale Gold 002. I'm going to pop that in my inner corner like that. But I'm also going to take a little bit of Astro White, just a little bit, and pop it here to blend those two shades together really nicely. You see, I don't know if you can see it. It's really quite noticeable in real life. I don't know how noticeable it is on camera. If you can see that like little pop of blue right there, that is Astro White. All right, so I'm going to clean up the little bit of fallout that I have here and I will be back. Okay guys, I am back. I have added mascara. I have a little bit of my Pat McGrath Dark Star mascara left, so I used that today because I felt like that was appropriate for the video. And I also lined this eye with my Charlotte Tilbury eyeliner duo in Super Blue. Yeah, so this is the finished look. This is the everyday face, and this is my, I want to be a little extra. I want to be extra special. You can call this a night look. I mean, I've worn this, pretty much this exact look during the day. That's just, it's all based on, you know, what you're comfortable with. I would wear both of these any time of the day. But for those of you who are on the fence about purchasing a Pat McGrath Mothership, or you don't know, you have them and you're still struggling, you're like, how do I make this work for me every day? It's an expensive palette. You want to get your money's worth out of it, which I completely understand and agree with. I just want to give you guys ideas with each palette of how you can use this just as everyday eye looks. And then, you know, when you want to be extra, when you want that thing that Pat McGrath palettes offer, which are these beautiful, intense metallics and special shades with these bold colors and gold, you can do that. And as you can see, neither one of these looks took a very long time. You know, both of them, that was the thing that I think shocked me the most when I first started purchasing Motherships, is that I had this idea that I was going to sit down and I was going to struggle with her palettes. And I just, honestly, her palettes are some of the easiest to use, just as far as the blendability, how quickly I can create eye looks. I can work really quickly with a Pat McGrath palette, more than I can even some, you know, just, you know, supposedly, you know, easier formulas. I don't think her formula is hard. I think you just have to sort of hunker down, sit down and play with a palette and really see what you get out of it, you know? So yes, this is the first in the series. This is Mothership 1 Subliminal. And I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you enjoyed this look. I love this look. I haven't done this in a while, and now I kind of want to do this like all the time. I haven't done that, and I just love this for everyday cool toned vibe, especially in the fall. It's summer now, so I don't really reach for cool tones as much, but I forgot how pretty this is. Anyway, if you enjoyed today's video, guys, please be sure to hit the like button, and if you're not subscribed, to subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye now.